Hey, welcome back. Today we're talking about why it's so difficult to achieve your goals. You're probably like everybody else who picks a goal and you try to go for the goal and then you didn't get it. And you're trying to figure out why you didn't get it. And you don't know why. You don't know why. And so you do what most people do. Goals are worthless. I'm not going to do this. It's too stressful. It's too discouraging. And because you don't understand how to accomplish a goal, you may have just totally pushed it to the side. Well, don't give up. Come on, don't give up. Be part of the goal tribe. I mean, there's this whole movement going on the planet about people who set goals and they get goals. Be a goal getter. I mean, be the kind of person who figures this out. And I got to show you some things here that you probably don't understand about setting goals and what goes on inside your mind that you got to know. You got to know these things or you're just going to give up like the other 98% of the people on the planet. So here, check this out. The first mistake people make in setting goals is they misunderstand what doubt is. I mean, how many people actually research doubt and understand where doubt comes from, what it does to a person, and what it actually is? And here we have doubt that stops us, but we don't even really know what it is. So let me tell you what doubt is. Doubt is the experience of your mind giving you a report. So let me explain. I pick a goal and I'm a big time goal getter and a goal setter. And every time I pick my next big goal, one of the next things that happen is I will hear my mind come back to me with a report on if it's possible for me to get this goal. Now I pick really big goals. I mean, I remember the day that I set the goal that I was going to have $50,000 in 1 month, right? I was going to, in 1 month, I'm going to have $50,000 come into my life. And at this point, I was only at the place of maybe about $1,500 to $2,500 per month. But I put on my vision board this goal of $50,000 in 1 month. Well, your mind, as soon as you give it a charge like that to go after a goal, it does research and it goes into your subconscious, checks out all of your skills, all of your abilities, and it comes back with a report. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to analyze and assess your resources, your skills and abilities to see if you have the ability to accomplish that goal. So my mind comes back with its report, and its report goes like this. We just want to let you know, Kirk, that there's pretty much no way you will ever get this goal. Now, the common person would count that as doubt. And they usually listen to that doubt. And now that doubt becomes the rule, the law. And so they don't go for the $50,000 goal. Well, I had enough training and understanding to know that this doubt was going to come back to me. Because it's true. I have no idea how to earn $50,000 in a month. I have no clue how to do that. And so of course my mind is going to tell me I can't. So when you pick a goal, and your mind tells you you can't do that, it's actually true. But it doesn't mean that's set in stone for the rest of your life. It just means as of today, there's no way you can get it. So if you can understand that doubt is only a report from your subconscious, and that's the deep part of your mind that checks all your skills and abilities, it's actually telling you the truth. You can't get it, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. Just on current conditions and the way you are right now, it's not going to happen. So when you have doubt come in your mind, really strongly consider how you're analyzing that, because if you analyze it as a truth statement, and now that's true for the rest of your life, you're never going to really branch out there and reach out there to accomplish those really big goals that you want to have. I could tell you story after story about the big, gigantic goals that I've set for myself in my life, and every time my mind tells me I can't. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but I'm going to figure out how to accomplish this goal. So number one, doubt is only a report of today's current standings of your abilities and skills. That's all it is. Let it be that way. Now you get to action and start to learn what it is that you got to do so that you can accomplish that goal. But there's no reason to let doubt stop you. The only reason it'll ever stop you again from this point on is if you forgot what I just taught you. So that's all doubt is. Get past it. Start increasing your skills and your abilities and your education so you know how to accomplish the goal. Okay, but here I got to give you some insight of why you're not achieving your goal. Number one is the misinterpretation of doubt. The second one is you may be missing the answers of how to train your brain. So if my brain says, I don't have the ability to accomplish that goal, well, I need to retrain it. I need to up level. I need to increase the abilities I have so I can reach that $50,000 in a month. So what you do is you gotta hit all three areas so that you can have a full training to your mind. Now, this side of the mind has to do with language. And the language inside your mind must improve. Like the $50,000, I had to start talking to myself like, yeah, it's awesome to be able to have $50,000 in a month. It's awesome to have $50,000 every month. Hey, it's awesome to be able to, I've got to start talking in a way as though $50,000 is a common number in my life. Because if I keep walking around going, $50,000, there's no way, I've never had that. I don't know how that's ever going to happen. That's not possible. If I keep slandering that statement and really discrediting it, how is my mind, this side of my mind, how's this side of my mind supposed to take action on this? I must train my mind to believe. My mind doesn't believe until I train it. So I've got to write out some sentences or a paragraph telling the story about $50,000 coming into my life. Literally creating the story of $50,000 coming into my life, even though it hasn't happened yet. It's like writing the next chapter of your book. It's like it hasn't happened yet until you write it. So you write yourself a paragraph about yay big, talking about your goal and how cool it is and how fun it is that it's actually going to happen and what it's like to be able to have that goal. But the simple part is, if you don't have a story or the language of having the goal, you're not training your brain. And your brain's not going to take action until you train it. The other side is the visual. So I use vision boards. It's where you take pictures or descriptions and you put it on your wall and you stand in front of that wall and you look at the pictures. So I put on my vision board $50,000, the $50,000, 0,000, and I would look at the $50,000, look at it, and I would, as I'm looking at it, I would imagine that $50,000, like how many $100 bills is that, right? How many $1 bills is that? Well, it's 50,000 $1 bills. But I had to create a visual for me because that's the other side of my mind to train. I must train my mind that this is the new norm. This is the new common. This is the new, just the way I live. Because until my brain's trained, it's not going to happen. So I got to train this side with language, train this side with visual. So over here, short little paragraph, maybe a couple sentences about how cool it is to have the $50,000. Over here, a picture of it, picture of me holding it. However you want to do the picture. Now this one right here, this one has to do with the emotion side of it. First time I said $50,000, it made my stomach sick. Because it seems so overwhelming, responsible, scary. What do you do with that? Oh my gosh, is someone going to steal it? So the emotion side of it, it always works better when the emotion is positive. When you can add a positive emotion to it, like excitement, joy, happiness, sharing, serving other people. Add a great emotion to it. So I'm not only talking about it, so this is the talk, the way that I talk about it. This is the way I see it, and this is the way that I feel about it. So if I can talk about it, and I can see it in my mind, and I can feel good about the goal, my goodness, guess what's going to happen? All three of these connect, and now you have began the training of your brain. Because until then, forget it. It's not going to happen. It's going to take forever to happen. And you're going to get bummed out, and it's not going to work, and it's just not going to happen. But this is why people don't get their goals, is because they don't incorporate these three. and they don't understand doubt. Now, this bottom one here is super important because this means you got to meet new people. And to consider this, the reason why you don't have your goal is because you don't know enough people. People are the stewards of all the resources on the planet. People are the stewards. So people are the ones who know where money is, they know where things are at, they have connections to people, they have ways to make things happen. So the more people you know, the faster your goal is going to happen. So what does that mean? You got to get out and go meet new people. Now, how do you know if you're doing this or not? Well, you got to put yourself a nice little 2 new people every single week, which that's kind of on the low end of the scale of 2 new people. Where do you meet people? Well, you go outside and you go somewhere, and wherever you're at, talk to people. Find out who these people are. What are their goals? Where are they going in their life? What do they wish? And I know this is like to complete strangers, right? Well, you can start with your family first, but then you got to work into complete strangers. Because if you get interested in other people's goals, they get interested in your goals. And when they know your goal and you know their goal, well, then now you're part of the same goal tribe. And now you guys can work on this together. But these are the components that most people miss. And it's why they don't achieve their goals. Because of doubt, the misunderstanding of doubt, and the steps that I've just now shown you here. But here's the last one. And this one's super, super important. When you lay down to go to sleep at night, and you're laying there, the common thing for your mind to do is assess everything that you didn't do during the day. Stop the madness. No more do you go to sleep thinking about everything you didn't do. You got one thing on your mind when you go to sleep. You lay there, and as you're drifting off to sleep, you think about your goal being finished. You imagine the day, you imagine the moment, you imagine the people, and you just tell the story in your mind of the goal being finished. Go to sleep at night with that being your last thought before you drift off to sleep. And that being your last thought, guess what your mind's gonna do? All night long, it's gonna work on your goal. And then when you wake up in the morning, you got a pad of paper sitting there, and you write down all the ideas that came to you while you woke up of what to do to accomplish that goal. You gotta train your mind, and you gotta rein your mind in on what to do next. But that last one, right before you go to sleep, take a moment and imagine that goal being finished. That's how you get your goal. Subscribe so I can send you more, because you know this content is great for you and it's perfect timing for you. Yeah, subscribe, ring the bell, and hey, it's time to get your goals.